Hi everybody, it's Diane from Tattered Edges Design once again. And today I'm going to make some mini booklets, which you have seen before, but I'm going to do it a little differently than the last session. Well, one, this is going to be Christmas. And two, I thought about doing like the old ones I did before, where you just take, scrap of paper and make your cover, and that's it. So I was going through my Christmas stuff, and it kind of dawned on me, not this piece obviously, but I've just got a lot of scrappy stuff. I've been looking at this for 10 years. I never was too wild about that. Little, I about use this up almost as all I can, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of late in the evening. I usually don't craft now, but I'm crafting now. But anyway, so I thought, well, maybe I should do more piecing and use this stuff up instead of using good pieces as a cover. So that's where we're going. So I need a base to put stuff on, and I wasn't too sure about that either. And then it dawned on me, I've got this whole pad. It's really old. I got it from a friend. It's really old, and the paper is fairly thin, but once you glue scrapbook paper and stuff to it, it's fine. So I cut them in half lengthwise because, I don't know, I just thought this is kind of big to really, the idea is to, throw it in your purse or something. So I thought that was too big. So to be honest, this is kind of a little too small. I would prefer it a little wider, but you know what? This paper I had, I'm trying to use it up, so that's what we're doing. So I'm just taking a base, I'm going to fold it in half, preferably well, and then I am just going to glue stuff all over. I have made these before, and it's been my experience that sometimes the fold, if you have scrapbook paper on it and then you recrease it, it cracks. And or since we're piecing, and maybe you're not paying attention and you get it right, along the fold, and then you fold it, the glue kind of comes up because there's not enough there, So. Anyway, to avoid all that baloney, what I kind of discovered is you just lay something thinner. These are old magazine pages. Over that, then one, you know where your middle is, and then two, you avoid the cracking and all that. And I probably will put fabric over the spine anyway, so it doesn't matter what that looks like. So that's the system, and I don't know how much we want to watch Diane just piecing stuff, but that's the idea. And I thought, if you have a lot of scrapbooky papers, that maybe it's the same thing. They're small, or you're just tired of looking at them, kind of a thing. Maybe you could do something like this too. And I really haven't given this too much thought. I don't know if I'll just hodgepodge it or make it. I generally, when I do this, just because of the brain I was dealt, I make it a little more lined up. I would just kind of line stuff up. Yeah, that's what lined up means, Diane. But yeah, I didn't really show you. I got a pretty big pile of just, like I said, stuff. I've seen it too long. I'm tired of it. It's little. It gets lost in the box. You guys know. You know what I'm talking about. So, speaking of Christmas stuff, and I guess I am kind of sort of trying to match a little bit here. We have a frost warning tonight. So yeah, I was just outside pulling my potted plants closer to my house. So maybe they'll survive. Yeah, I got some border things over there. This paper, or a paper like this, I thought this was really cool, and I have used it, as you can see. But once I got it, I found it was just kind of hard to work with. Because I kind of thought, I bought it online and it's like, oh, these trees are really cool and mod. I like that. But you can't really just cut that out. It looks like, if you just cut that out, what is it? So I kind of, ran out of what am I supposed to do with those ideas, and so there, things like that. So do you guys have a bunch of stuff like this too, or just me? And I really wasn't going to make more Christmassy crafts per se. Yeah, I obviously it depends on your shop and what you're selling and that, but generally speaking, I haven't had a lot of luck selling holiday stuff online. So I don't know. It's just my stuff or what that's all about, but I haven't had a whole lot of luck with that. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, glue stick, you fall over. That's your job, right? Why don't we just close you up anyway? I thought maybe what I would do is just kind of piece some so you could see the general idea, and then I'll glue them, off camera because gluing paper is so thrilling. And I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know. Let's see, I gave the weather report. All that being said, it's supposed to warm up then after the frost during the day. Well, and at night. So that's okay. I'll take that. Yeah, this time of year, I guess I'll take anything that's not too bad. I like this paper too. The back is okay, but how many of those flowers do I really need? And the front is a little hard to work with, and so there. And if you wanted to make bigger-ish ones, you could, Franken paper stuff together too. Which, in case you don't know, I don't know who coined that term, if that was Nick. But one of the junk journal people started that, where you just sew together scraps and to make a bigger usable paper. So you could do that too. Get my garbage can over here. And of course that's just a little short. What about here? Yeah, isn't it? That's the way it goes too. It's like, I'll just use these scraps, and then, oh wait, that's too small, and yes, I will use up a lot. I will, but I know what's going to happen is I'm just going to make more scraps, and now I've got notebooks too. All right. So I think that would be that one. Okay. Now let's watch her. Yeah, actually I should have done this on something. So let's watch her, drop all these little papers. Okay, that's not too bad. Just a minute, I'm stepping away. Okay. All right, nothing fell off. Believe that. Let's do another one. And actually, another reason I'm doing this too is because I just finished those two travelers notebooks, which I assume that video will be up before this, but I don't know. I think I'm going to keep February 1971 for my collage fodder. But anyway, they work. I mean, traveler's notebooks, I don't have a ton of pages in those. I don't know. They just seem like, look, I know what it was. It's because I made two at once. That's sort of taxing. I think I'll go ahead and glue the spine down. It can dry. Well, not the spine, but the paper for the spine. Anyway, what I was saying was I finished those, and they were all kind of involved. I think what I'm finding for me when I make themed journals by the time I get done with those, I'm kind of sick of them because I've got a lot of like ephemera, if you will, pre-made. But naturally, if it's a theme journal, it's not going to go. It's stuff I don't have, so I got to make journal cards and stuff, and it just, I don't know how to describe it. I guess when you're used to just going to your shoebox and you pull ephemera and you're done, and now all of a sudden you got to make it, it's sort of like, oh. So anyway, I'm kind of looking for a break from journals at this exact moment in time. Yeah, I'll do it this way. Okay. Or something like, I've been looking at this for years and I haven't used it. I don't know what to do with it. And so here we are. And this, anybody recognize like this paper? I use this more to cut elements out. But it's the same thing. I've had this stuff for years. Or like this stuff, no offense to the company, I won't, well, it says it. So I don't want to offend anybody. But it was sort of like, oh, I wasn't that wild about it when it showed up. Oh, the back is pretty cool. You can use it for backings. Backings, that's not really what I meant. Just use it more as a background, I guess I meant. Who knows what you meant? I don't, because like I said, this is later at night for me. I usually don't do this. Yeah, well, thanks for jumping on and making us listen to you ramble. Why don't you go to bed? Oh. Well, maybe that's better. Maybe, yeah. Okay, we want that back there. All right, well, then maybe we'll put this one up here. All right. What else you got? Oh, well, that's kind of interesting, too. But I think we want that. Leaves an odd. I'll put this down here. There, that's better. Now we have this one little corner we have to worry about. Oh, what about this? Actually, does this have a border? Yeah, I'll cut that off. There's 25s all over it. All right, you go in the border pile. It's quiet. Maybe I should do videos more later at night. My neighbors cut their grass today and I wasn't videotaping. How about that? Videotaping. Would you stop saying that? I'm sorry. I can't help it. Okay. Oh, it's stuck. Okay. Stepping away, putting it down. Okay. One more. We'll do one more. And then I better go knock off. All right. I didn't fold this one. I'm going to fold it. So you know where your middle is. I didn't say either. I probably will put notebook paper in these just because I have a lot of notebook paper, and then I can use some of that up too. And I don't know what I'm going to do with these now. I might put them in my shop. I might give them out as gifts. Those are probably the two options. I might put them in my shop, and if they don't sell, I'll give them out as gifts. How about that? I don't know. We'll see. Okay. All right. What are we tired of looking at? Here's the thing right here. And I moved the garbage can, didn't I? I don't think I move it. I think it moves on its own and I'm not paying attention, right? Just a red. I love these. I've been looking at these forever too. Just use that as a Christmas tag, right? Because that's what it is. Got a million Christmas tags. And I don't think I'm exaggerating. I really like making Christmas tags out of scrap paper images. They're cute. It works out well. I like it. But I don't really give out a ton of presents at Christmas. So I end up with a lot of tags every year that are left over. And I keep making more. Or are you guys guilty of this, or is this just Diane too? I do make, tags. And I'm like, oh, I really like that one. Well, I'll make my husband give me that tag. Do you ever do that? I do. You're Diane. Stop telling us about you. You're scaring us. That's kind of pretty. Yeah, I guess obviously I'm going with color here. I don't know, if you just made one just totally hodgepodge. You didn't like, I'm just gonna grab, I'm just gluing on. I think if you were doing something larger, that would be okay. But when you have a smaller area and, I don't know how to explain that. If I either had smaller pieces on this or a larger surface, I think it would be better. But I think when something is small and you have just there's only 3 things here. If the 3 things were mismatched, I don't know if that would look okay. Here in the picture, no. It's on the back of this. No, it's not too bad. This paper actually I don't think is that old, but I just thought this is cute. But I just didn't think I'd really be using it, the other part. Alright, why not? Okay, there's the third one. Alright, I'm probably going to knock off for today. I don't even think I'm going to glue these. So I'll pick up tomorrow and glue and then maybe piece together other ones and then come back. Okay, well, good night, everybody. Okay, it is the next day and it is really later in the next day. I didn't have a whole lot of craft time today, but I did get the outer covers done. I made 10. They would look much cuter with fabric around the spine, which I'm not doing right yet. See, they're just scrappy put together, but they're kind of cute. And as I was doing this, it dawned on me, that paper that I used, remember that cheapy tablet, is awfully thin. I wonder if you can see through. Yeah, you can. Which, if these were just for me, I'd probably just let it slide, but they're not. So I thought, well, I want to use up that paper anyway. I'll glue another piece in. Well, you can still see through it. So then I thought, well, much like heavier printer paper. Well, but I'm not trying to use up printer papers. So it's like, well, I don't know. And then it dawned on me, I've got this pad here, which somebody gave to me as a gift. and it's lighter weight paper. So it's like, well, maybe I will use, she's trying to say that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I just wanted to kind of pop on and give you a progress report. I'm not actually going to do anything because right now I have to cut. And who wants to watch that? So I'm going to cut paper to fit in here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go all the way across. I mean, to save, a millimeter isn't worth it anyway. And as you might recall, I just put magazine text paper on the spine. So that could use a little, beefing up anyway. So I'm going to cut papers for the inside, glue them down, probably weight them down. Yeah, I did weight these under a heavy book as the glue was drying. And then I think I'm going to corner around the corners. So there's my progress report. And we'll pick it up again later, probably again tomorrow. Okay, I'm back, obviously, and I think this is 2 tomorrows later. I don't think I filmed yesterday. I was busy, and when you're dumb enough to make 10 of these, it takes a long time. It really did. But anyway, and who among you, when I was showing that pad to put, on the inside, that pad of paper, was saying, Diane, I don't think that's long enough to go across. And you were right. So I had the piece in the middle, which actually, though, I think I'm kind of glad that came about because it just adds a little more interest in there. But as you can see, they're all put together. I did a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Which, if you don't know how to do that, there's probably 1,001 videos about it. And I inked the edges, more so just as a finished look. Not really, I'm not trying to antique them. But so now I was going to wrap a little bit of fabric around the spine. So I've got some Christmas fabric here that I just pulled from my stash, and I pulled because of the scale. And, if this doesn't cut it, I think I'm in trouble because this is about it for me and Christmas fabric. Like I said, I've got some more stuff, but I think the scale is just too big. And that would be okay. So I just thought maybe I don't know if I'll do all of them, but select fabrics and we could just sort of chit chat. You can help me decide. All right, that can be for this. And I don't think I really have to iron it because it's going to get totally glued, so I think that'll be okay. If I come across one that's really gnarly wrinkled, I'll have to iron it, but it's not bad. But yeah, for those of you thinking, these are really cute, I'm going to do that and just whip a bunch of these out. It's like, no, it takes time. If you're not piecing, if you were just going to do it more like this on the front, then yeah, you could whip them out pretty fast. But all that piecing, that really takes time. And like I said, if you're not stupid enough to do 10, but I don't know, I just thought well, make it worth my while. I might as well make a bunch, which is great until you're actually making them and then you go, this is too many. Now, is that cool or is it too much stripey business? I don't like it that way. Too much stripey business? Yeah, this one, I don't know, I don't even know that's technically, I guess it's supposed to be a Christmas fabric because it's red and green. But it doesn't have Christmas motifs. I guess you could do whatever you want, right? Well, what about just boring, boring red? Well, that's kind of nice. Okay, we'll be boring. was a gorgeous day today, and I mean gorgeous. Just perfect. Lower 70s, sunny all day. So there is your weather report from me, because I know you were waiting for that. It's not bad. Didn't have a smaller one of those though. I'm already getting all mishmashy here. I don't know. I thought I had a smaller piece of that. Yeah. See? I know what I was talking about. Yeah. What about that white tag? What about the white stuff? It's got a big thread hanging on it. No. What about the red with the white? Now, which is better? I don't know. Is that too busy? All right, I like the darker better. Oh, I didn't mention, I did put a mix of lined and blank. And yeah, if you're going to do that, be aware. If you definitely want lined paper in it and you want them to go the correct way, you know, instead of those, this, I should say. Yeah, what did it end up being? Okay, it's 4.5 inches. So standard notebook paper is too short. I just happened to luck out though with, I had an older tablet I had picked up at a thrift store, and that was exactly 8.5 inches. So I lucked out. But think about that before you make or cut your covers. That's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Which, if I didn't have any, I just would have made it all blank. But I thought a mix was just a little more fun. No, that's too bright. Well, this kind of matches. Nah, that's too busy, isn't it? Well, are we back to just the red? Well, what about that stripe again? This got, that's off-white, and this has got off-white in it. No, I don't like it with that stripe. Okay, fine. Excuse me, I don't really like the red either. What else you got for us? What about this brighter green? No. What about this one? I'm gonna try this. No. What's the problem? Alright, I'll put this aside and maybe look at my stash that I didn't go through yet. Yeah, very little Christmas fabric has blue on it. The only stuff I have that I didn't pull out is it's an old flannel sheet that was a winter theme, and when I got rid of the set, you know, part of this stuff was still good, so I saved it. Oh, that's not bad. I saved it for fabric, but it's got like kind of cartoony polar bears and stuff like that on it, so I don't think we want that here. And I know, let me grab my bigger fabric scissors. I know this fabric doesn't rip. I've tried that before. But it's a plaid, so it's easy to cut straight. And Yes, I'll save these little things for, I don't know, ATCs or something. Well, this isn't too bad. I lost that smaller piece again. Come on, people. La la la. I don't know what went. Well, it'll show up the second I cut into this. Yeah, I like that. Okay, are we sure we can't find it? Just a second. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. I don't know what went. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe it wasn't that one that had the smaller. All right. I have crickets outside my window here. Can you hear that? Ooh, last one already. Okay. Now that went fast. if the whole project went that fast, I'd be much happier. Yeah, really, for little gifts or a little, small ticket item, it really takes quite a lot of time. And I hardly made a dent. It's okay. In the scrap paper that I was trying to use up, I probably could have made 50 more, but I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. Okay, I gotta fold all this stuff up and put it away, and then I will glue my fabrics on, and then come back. What time is it? Probably tomorrow, and give a wrap up and show how they look. So I'll glue them and let them sit overnight, I think. So, okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Here I am the next morning, and we're done. Yeah, I did that. I glued them all down last night, let them dry overnight. So we'll just do a little quickie look. I think the fabric really adds, I don't know, it makes it look more finished, more interesting. But yeah, this actually took a long time, which I don't know. It's the piecing is really, I think, would take so long. And Diane's schedule didn't help any. And the fact that she made 10 didn't help either. And of course, this is not limited to Christmas. I have done this with just regular, everyday scrapbook paper scraps. So there we go. She finally got them done. So they're cute. They're fun. All right, gang. That's it. Little mini Christmas notebooks with scraps. So thanks for joining me, and have a nice day out there.